was just looking at social media as a whole, the effects it's had on me personally, and I'm beginning to think that maybe social media has crossed over the hump. Not just social media, but maybe the internet as a whole. There was a point where the technology, the promises of what the internet and social media and social interactions could do to better humanity and help people. But I think we've crossed over that threshold, and now it's mostly hurting people, not helping people. Just case in point, if hey, just me, good to see you on there. If you're on social media like Facebook or any of the Twitter, any of these things, and you've been following it, then you probably noticed that the kind of messages, the kind of postings and stuff that get lots of views tend to be things that aren't good. Not good for people, not good for humanity, but good for views. Always things with controversy or things that show the bad side of people, or even fake stuff, like fake videos of people being kind. Who the heck goes around? Well, I know who does that. Social media people do. They go around and they do good deeds, if you want to call them that, and they film themselves doing good deeds. And, the camera's sitting there, they got somebody filming, and the person they're helping is oblivious to the camera, or it's staged. Or, they do these gags and stuff where people get hurt, or could get hurt. And the problem with it is those things go viral. And the companies like Facebook, YouTube, any of these companies, social media, they all have to make money, or they all want to make money. And they really don't care that it's fake or it's bad or it's harmful content. And they promote it because, for example, the Facebook Reels, the new thing that they introduced, the Reels. So they'll put up a picture, and if it catches your eye and you click it to view that one thing, it goes on to other things, even things that you aren't interested in, like people driving like idiots and causing crashes. Half-naked girls showing their booty. I mean, I kind of like that, but the young girls. And not to have anything against young girls, but the issue is they're promoting that's normal for the young people watching it, that's a good thing, or the heavy makeup and talking about sex and crazy sex stuff. I'm like, my kids are watching this stuff, and it's not like they even have to click on it. It runs automatically. So when you click the even one thing, I don't even think you can turn off that feature, the Reels, but it shows up on your feed, and if you accidentally hit it, it starts rolling a whole bunch of them. And it'll roll stuff that you're not interested in, but you're like, well, you can just skip it. Yeah, but see, the problem is, how advertising works. The more you can flash somebody something, the more you stick in front of them, all around them, on their face, everywhere, they become desensitized, or they become used to it, and it becomes normal. And I think social media has turned a lot of crazy stuff into being normal, like conspiracy theories and theorists. They used to be fringe. They used to be out on the outer edge, like all the weirdos. But now it's mainstream. And it's because of the views. It's because people click on them because of the controversy, because they're so crazy. And then some people actually believe it. And some people say they don't believe, they're just... I used to pretend that I was a member of the Flat Earth Society. But I knew the Earth is not flat, the Earth is round, but I pretended I was a member of the Flat Earth Society, but now it's real. They really believe it. They believe that we don't have rockets that go up into outer space. And, I'm working at a space facility, dude. And I don't think they're faking all this stuff. But anyhow, Even on YouTube, YouTube has those new things. I think they call them YouTube Shorts. They are showing things that you might not even be interested in, and then they just kind of continually run them through because they get views and they get ads and get followers. I don't know how exactly those things make money because I haven't seen ads on them. But I guess when you get followers, people sponsor you, whatever. You see that guy, there's so many of them now. They're on like Instagram or also on the Facebook Reels where they bring a homeless guy into McDonald's and buy him food or tell him he can get whatever he wants. And then it gets like millions of views. That's the kind of stuff they're promoting. And then, everyone was saying that, oh, he's so kind and da da da. I'm like, he's so kind. He's taking advantage of that poor guy, the homeless dude. And he's getting all these views and stuff and making money on it, monetizing it. And the dude gets a hamburger, the homeless guy. But the guy that did the video, he gets millions of views or hundreds of millions of views or whatever. And he makes thousands or tens of thousands of dollars on it. And it wasn't real. I mean, it wasn't like sincere. But then you point that out and people say, well, he's showing people that, that you should be kind. I think you can tell people about being kind. I guess I can see part of it, but the problem is there's so many of them doing it. And it's not sincerity. They're not doing it because they're kind. They're doing it for the views. And even like the fake stuff, it's like, what did I see? Oh, yeah. I saw this one thing that showed, how people do the little cook? It's those little clips that are like 30 seconds. They're showing people how to cook a meal, and they do this. And it has that stupid robotic voice or whatever. And then what they did was they took, the little hot dogs, and you make them little like corn dogs, little wieners. So they roll it up and wrap it up. But before they did that, they put a whole bunch of salt, like a shitload of salt on it. And then rolled it up and then take it to the party for people to eat. And some of you might not think that's a big deal, but there's somebody who's diabetic, who has health issues, consuming that much salt, and could kill them. Really, it could kill somebody. You're like, well, they would taste the salt and spit it out. But the problem is, you have those little hot dog things. Somebody might take a whole bite and chew on it quite a bit and even swallow it before they realize it's full of salt. It's like an office party or a family gathering or your friends, and everyone's bringing their own food. And it's not just that's bad. The fact is that video gets millions of views. So all these young people are thinking, yeah, that would be funny. And then they go to and do that. I mean, I've seen some good stuff, like I saw that one girl with the missing teeth. You've seen her, right? The girl with the 2 missing teeth, she's like my counterpart. But she goes around showing her without her teeth and then showing her with the teeth. And, people think she looks really good with her teeth. And some people say it's a catfish and all that other stuff. But that aside, okay, she's making lots of money on that, on her views. But now if I take off my teeth, and I put on my teeth, I still don't get the views. So it only works if you're a girl and you look good when you have your teeth in. Now that side of social media, I still think it's kind of bad because what it's saying is you should try to have a certain look. It's like you're building up this expectation for people of what looks good and what doesn't look good, and it's being dictated by social media based upon clicks. You even had stuff where they have little kids pretending to be kind. It's like, oh, watch this. My son is being kind to whatever, and you just happen to be filming it. And people watch that, and they say, oh, this kid should be commended, blah, 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 blah. And, I think it's good to be kind, and it's good to show kindness. But when it's done like that for views, and, they run a social media profile, and they make a lot of money on it. It's being driven by money. It's being driven by greed, not compassion, not kindness. Now, the social media platforms themselves, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, or whatever, they don't really care. All they care about is the number of views, the clicks, the interactions. They let people run bad stuff, like bad car crashes. Like, you know how people always say, look out for motorcyclists? But then I see all these videos where the motorcyclist is riding on the median halfway or on the shoulder and then crashing into another car that also happened to be cutting out. Both were, trying to avoid traffic jam by driving illegally on the median or on the, the side of the road and then crashing. So both are idiots. But the fact is, it doesn't matter. For Facebook or whatever, they're getting all these views. And to me, that kind of stuff, what good does it do for anyone, really? You're like, well, we could teach people not to do that. I would think that when you're learning how to drive, they already cover that. And then you got these idiots who say that they do these videos where they go, watch me do a wheelie at 150 miles an hour. I'm like, hello? Are you like retarded? I don't think retarded people do that. You're beyond retarded. Okay? And people get offended at the term retarded, but, I mean it in the sense that they're doing something that is beyond stupid. And retarded isn't really a bad word. Retarded just means slow. It's slow, you're slow at something. But society or media or whatever has deemed that word inappropriate. Certain words are now inappropriate. I think to an extent that's why people miss like the old days sometimes. People miss the 80s. People miss the 80s because back then, I think people weren't so sensitive. Nowadays, you gotta watch what you say because if you're a producer, if you're a content creator, they're gonna demonetize you. They'll block your video. They'll make it so it wasn't worth your time, so you can't say certain things. You can't do certain things. But at the same time, certain things like you can flash, if you're a girl, you can flash your boobies or whatever, or almost. You can't really flash. You can flash more than 70% of people if you're a girl, and you can get away with that. Or if you don't ready, they don't want you to wear they'll demonetize you. But you can wear like string something that show even more than the lingerie. Now, if you're a guy wearing it, you're screwed either way. You don't get the views. But I guess what I'm trying to say is people are being ruled or being dictated by social media and the norms on social media, which isn't normal at all. Social media, to me, has crushed that. When you look at like a bell curve, it goes up towards the hill and then it peaks out. Almost everything in life is like that. You have the peak, and then after that, you have the drop. And right now, I think with social media and society following it, it's not just even American. Even like Thailand and elsewhere, any place that has technology that has access to social media is on the decline. And I'm trying to figure out how I can leave media. That is my goal, but at the same time, I also see the positivity in it. I see how it could help somebody. Like there's some useful channels on YouTube, that show you how to survive, how to build things, how to be economical and stuff. The problem with it is, even when you're trying to view the good stuff, YouTube will shove bad stuff in between, like ads and stuff, or the reels and stuff that pop up, and they have the recommended videos. And what happens is it shoves stuff that you don't like, but they shove it enough at you and you start watching it. I don't know if you guys remember when I lived in the woods, I used to say a lot of times in my videos to guard your heart, protect your heart and your mind. And I still say that, but the problem is it's become much, much harder. Even myself, it's like you can get addicted to social media and all the funny reels, just sitting around bored. The problem is they want you sitting around bored. I think if you look at most people who are productive, they don't spend a lot of their time on social media or on watching TV. They actually spend it doing things. So maybe that's the key, is to just start doing things doing things that doesn't have to do with sitting there on social media. Considering that I make money off social media, it's kind of bad for me, but I don't make that much. And honestly, I don't know if I contribute to people become addicted to the devil, because I think social media is run by the devil. Yeah. You know, maybe I don't want to be a part of it, you know. So something to think about. I'm going to read your comments and take a minute to address some of these before we sign out. George, good to see you on here. Are you feeling better? Well, Bang, good to see you. A Angry? Well, Bang says, it shows you how shallow the new generations have become. Let's see, Mo. Check out you, Mo, or Tim. Tim, it's the social media making them that way. You know, social media, parents, you know, initially left the TV to have their babysit their kids, and TV was considered bad. But at least TV, remember when it was only limited to, you know, the networks? They had network censors. You guys know I watch free TV through the internet using Pluto, you know, Pluto.com, Pluto TV. It's free. And they run movies on there with ads. Okay. And the other day, for the first time, I saw the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, The Wolf of Wall Street, I think it was. Yeah, The Wolf of Wall Street. Holy schmoly. That movie, now it was on Pluto, which is not even paid. You know, Pluto is free on the internet. So anybody can, it's not restricted, age restricted or anything. Anybody can use it. And they run the movie uncensored. So, you know, it had all this heavy drug usage, um, naked people having sex and crazy stuff. I was like, I can't believe Leonardo DiCaprio did that. And I thought he was a nice, a clean-cut boy. Man, I'm like, holy schmoly, that's Leonardo running around naked. But, you know, that's normal now. This is what my kids and your kids and everybody's growing up watching. It's considered regular TV, you know, like if you use Pluto. And ads were running on it. So obviously, the advertisers no longer care that you're showing people snorting cocaine and then having sex everywhere and, you know, hiring hookers and all sorts of, and not just hiring, they're showing them all naked and having sex. But I'm like, you know, I don't have a problem with watching that now, but I do have a problem with that. It's become normal. It's normalized. Things that used to kind of freak people out are now normal. And like Timothy saying, you know, he thinks the kids nowadays are shallow. But who's running the show? Who's putting on that network TV? Who's putting on that show on Pluto? Who's making these decisions? Who's allowing those reels to run on Facebook? You know, are they kids? And I think they are. They were young, you know, like a lot of the technology companies were founded by people in their 20s and 30s. So maybe the brain hadn't matured enough and they allowed that stuff and it's become a norm. And as the kids get exposed to it, this is the norm. And the problem with addiction, whether it's any kind of addiction, at a certain point, you got to have more, you know, because you got to have more. Because the drug starts to lose its effect. So when you're addicted to social media and all the crazy stuff on social media, and it can't get any weirder, they have to create stuff, which is, I think, where we're at right now. That's why you're having all these fake content, fake kindness, fake compassion, and even real, where they're showing people really dying, you know, being acceptable. I remember when I worked as a newspaper reporter, you know, for the military, if I had to deal with dead people, you know, because it would happen. That was my job as public affairs, public relations. I never photographed the bad stuff because, you know, like if I was at an accident or something and I had to show the crash, you know, that there was a crash, I would take a picture of maybe the cop talking. I wouldn't take a picture of the car in pieces and bodies sticking out or whatever, or an ambulance, you know, taking the body away or something. I wouldn't do that. But that's what they show now. Why? Because you know, even YouTube says the thumbnail is very important. And that's why you have all this fake stuff, or even myself, I'm kind of guilty of that. I think everyone is. If you're trying to promote your channel, you kind of have to put sensationalized thumbnails that may not be 100% truthful. Might not even be true at all. I look at some YouTube videos where they say things you wouldn't believe are true, and then they show pictures of something, and you see the picture, and it's an intriguing thumbnail, and you click on it, and it never showed up in the video. It's clickbait. But YouTube doesn't care. YouTube cares that you clicked it and that you watched the whole thing expecting to see that one segment. So this is what our world has come down to. And, I wonder what's next. I think for me, it might be leaving it. I don't know how much part of me wants to leave it, but there's still some good in it. And I think it can help some people. But part of me says by being a part of it, you're part of the bad. It's like you try to promote the good side of it, but the good side never wins. It's based on the number of clicks, and people prefer the sensational, the fake, the bad, the temptation than the truth. The truth is kind of boring, but it's the truth. Blah. It's not sensational. Well, bang, let them run into the flat earth society, up off the edge. An old lady believes I'm truly kind and caring. I think that's debatable. Remember, an old lady, you only seen one side of me. So, even, I try to share everything as they happen, some of it kind of bad, but you're only still seeing what I broadcast. You don't see everything. So what you see is a persona, a projection of Denoy. It's not even the complete Denoy. I do try to share stuff as openly as I can, within reason. Sometimes I have to change things around a little bit because of safety and security and whatnot. But for the most part, it's boring. Mo Bang says, we got 3 strikes against us, Denoy. Old men and have common sense. We will never go viral. Actually, I can tell you ways to going viral, Timothy. All you need to do, if you really want to go viral on your channel, you have a partner who's a young girl that's hot, and then you use her in the thumbnails. And then occasionally have her pop in. I was watching even like the computer nerd ones, like what is it, Retro Recipe, and he's got like a cute looking wife, and now she's got spun off on her own channel. But it's like that's what sells. People were watching it for the retro, retro nerds, computer nerds and stuff, watching it for him. But then when he has his wife on there, they're all watching for her, and then now they're all like on her channel, and she's doing some retro stuff, which I say they're watching. But then you see all these memes and stuff on the groups and stuff of her in bikinis and stuff like that. So I'm like, I think sex has always been selling since the beginning of time, but now it's just everywhere. Before, if you wanted to see like naked girls, most of the time you had to go to a museum, and it was paintings. You had to see a painting, and it took forever before they had another painting, a new painting. Then came drawings, writings and drawings and stuff like that. Then when photography took off, it still took time. You had to develop it, and then it had to show up in print, and so it's slower. But now it's like instantaneous. Before you had digital cameras, and you still had to upload it to your computer, and it took time, and you had slow upload speeds and whatnot. Now it's like you can shoot on your phone, and it's up within 1 minute for the whole world to see. And in some ways that's good, but in a lot of ways it's bad, because it's allowing people to post and do things without consciously thinking about it. It's like, oh, look, a car crash. I'm going to post this video. Oh man, look at that leg sticking out of that car. I'm gonna take a video and show you. Oh, look at that lady crying and blah blah blah. This will get a lot of views. And that's what drives people now. And the reason they're driven is because social media says the more views you get, the more money you make. I don't think that's good. Maggie says, data is the new oil. We are just being harvested. Yes. I think what I'm going to do is share with you a link to show you. It was kind of eye-opening. I found a way on Facebook to access everything they have on you. And some of you are like, well, that's why I left Facebook. I went for another social media platform. They're all doing the same thing. It's data harvesting. They're harvesting a digital profile of you. And I found my access for my Facebook, basically the database they have on me. And it has stuff all the way back to day one. And you're like, what does that mean? It means it has everything, including all your postings, all your comments, even with people you're no longer friends with because of the whole coronavirus, Trump, anti-Trump, left-wing, right-wing shit that made a lot of people cut off their friends. So all that stuff is there. And it really makes you think about, what the heck have I been doing? I've been giving them everything about me so they can target me with advertising and stuff. This is what they're collecting on me and selling, And the new TVs, the smart TVs, it's super expensive technology yet they're giving it away pretty much. And they're selling it cheap because they're watching you. You're watching TV, but TV is watching what you're watching. And, if they have a video or sound access, they could even actually be recording you. I remember cable TV when it first came out. People were talking about, the cable TV can record you. Back then, they didn't really have the technology, but now with computers serving as TV, the TVs, the smart TVs you have, they're basically computers. They can record you. They can record down, and with high-speed internet, they can send it. They can also monitor every single click, every single thing you watch, how long you watch. You're watching TV, but TV is watching you now. An old lady says some girls overshop their images to the point of ridiculousness. They look better than their natural selves. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like they have all these filters and stuff to change your appearance, and not even just young girls doing it. Some of my older friends, like on Facebook, they're like my age. I see them using all sorts of filters, even family members. I'm like, you're beautiful as you are. Why are you turning your eyes blue or purple or whatever? Why are you making yourself look beautiful through a filter? And when I say beautiful, what I'm saying is what you think is beautiful. That was the idea. The person who made the filter is telling you what they think is beautiful. And you bought it, hook, line, and sinker. So you're trying to measure up to somebody else's ideal of beauty. I don't know if you guys are aware, I used to be a photographer. I still am. I used to shoot and still do sometimes, glamour, where I'm trying to make people look beautiful and stuff. But one of the things I tried not to do too much was Photoshop, because you can get to the point where it doesn't even look like the person anymore. It's not even recognizable. But it's gotten, and when we did that, it was like special. We knew we were selling a fantasy. When I shot the models and stuff, they would have some imperfections, like moles or whatever, or sometimes freckles, and we would remove them because we wanted as clean or as perfect as we could make it, because we were selling fake. We weren't selling real. But now, fake is real. It's like everyone wants to look like that. And they have programs where you can just hit a button so everybody can do it. And everybody can look like they have blue eyes. You guys saw, what would we call her? Denoy? Remember Denoy? Where I looked like a girl. And it looked realistic too. It looked like I was a girl. And, and I was like, this is how far we've come. And now they have they can do it live with So like Timothy, Timothy is saying he and I couldn't ever go viral because we we're like old men with common sense. But the thing is, the technology is there now that I think it's possible for us to do. Like, I've been playing a little bit with Instagram because I wanted to check out that feature, trying to see if I can record myself as a girl, and that would probably get more views. Then start up a new channel, Denoya living in a van. Living in a van with Denoya. So, but the thing is, it would get more views just because it's a girl. But never let people know that you're really a guy. And now they have the digital people, actors. They're not even real. So what you're watching isn't even the person. It's actually all digital. So you're watching. There were some, how they have the followers and stuff like that. They were showing where people are following a digital creation. It's not even a real human, and they're following them as if their life was important. The digital creature. It's not even a real person. It's not even real life. You're following a cartoon. But that's what, and it's getting way more clicks than normal because it's doing everything that it knows to get people to click and to like and subscribe and promote their products. And that's why I think social media, the data tracking, the technology has crossed the threshold from being useful goodness. If you talk about like wanting to control people, this is it. You're probably watching me. If you're watching me on a phone, that's a tool that the powerful are using to control you and me. Maggie says trans people get a lot of views too. Yeah. Being trans or coming out and having weird stuff about yourself is now considered the new normal. Before it was like, well, it's good that you came out so that people could feel like this is normal, that they're not by themselves. But now people aspire to be like that. And whether it's right or wrong, I think to each their own. But those kind of channels are being promoted and pushed. And when I will be honest, when you're young and your mind is impressionable, you really don't have a clue yet. And when you're seeing all this stuff that is being considered acceptable or normal, and it might cause a problem for you, you don't know any better. And then you follow it and you start to do it and you start to believe it. And it does a lot of damage that's permanent. So, it's a scary world for young people. In some ways, I'm kind of glad that I grew up when I did, but I worry for my children and their children and future generations. I don't know how things are going to turn out. I think that we're going to lose all of this. There's going to be a revolt because it's too much. People are being harvested as for money, but even money is not. It's just a concept they created. When Ole says, Maggie, that's brilliant. We are being coaxed into oversharing on so many social media. Yeah. People have been sharing everything, you know, and even me sharing, but I shared not because I thought I would get a lot of views. I shared just because this was life. The whole channel has always been about um, my life, basically. And some people could relate to parts of it, and I shared it to show that they weren't out there alone, but that bad shit happens or good shit happens, but I just shared it to show what life is and how I was trying to deal with it, you know. So it's just interesting that I don't share too much on Facebook anymore. I mostly share like funny memes and things like that, or things that try to uplift people. I try to share things that are uplifting, but that aren't fake. Like I try not to share the fake nice guy, you know, the genuinely fake videos. I try not to share because they were created by people who understand how social media works and they're trying to capitalize on it. 1954 Shadow says our parents' views were dictated by TV, and before that, their parents were influenced by the movies. It's all relative. They knew what was real and what was not, like my parents taught me. Yeah, the issue though is it wasn't 24/7, 1954 Shadow. Even TV before, if you're my age, then TV used to shut off. Like TV wasn't 24/7. TV used to come on like probably about 7 in the morning, maybe 8 in the morning, and I think it shut down by like 8 or 10 o'clock at night. So you at least got some peace. But not only that, it was only like 2 or 3 channels. And then when we had cable, it was still censored. They were still taking content from TV to use. Then they started to introduce like nudity in regular TV. Remember Hill Street Blues, that scene with the naked girl? You know, that was the first time I think they ever showed in American TV. In Europe, they always had naked people. Like when I was living in Germany, they had nudity, sex, and stuff on TV, and that was public TV. It wasn't a big deal. America, I think, tends to push sex more as far as for advertising and using it to make money, lots of money. You know, it's a tool. Maggie says she left Facebook in 2016. I commend you, Maggie. My sister's getting ready to try to leave. I'm trying to leave somewhat. I've been posting less and less. I don't know if you're my friend on Facebook, you probably noticed that I've been posting less, other than a couple videos that are like hopefully uplifting or funny, but been sharing less, and not as much stuff on my personal life. And I may go through and start deleting all my personal stuff from Facebook from the database. At least it gives you that option. But reality is, even though you're telling it to delete it, knowing how technology works, I'm pretty sure Zuckerberg has a copy of it still. So even though you're deleting it off your access, like you can no longer access it on your profile, I am 100% positive that Facebook still keeps it. Maggie goes to look.com because they don't censure. I think that's what's going to happen is people going to start moving back to smaller. But it's like you're going to have two groups. You're going to have the group that stay with the big and the groups that become small. The issue will be, I think, mostly older people are going to be shifting out of social media. Most young people, it's like super crack. The reason it works like that is because social media enforces what you like. It's like once they know what you like, they keep giving you more of it. So if you love food videos, they keep giving you more. If you love car crash videos, they show you more of that. If you like watching death videos, they show you more of that. They show you more of what you like. And that's why it becomes addictive. But in a way, it enforces that. It makes you become more and more extreme. And that's what makes it evil and dangerous. Well, Banks says smartphones were designed to create a new generation of social media zombies. Indeed. Hello, Michaela. Is it Michaela Mashala Haga? How you doing? Good wishes. Guten Tag. Maggie, she didn't let her daughter have a computer in her room. I kind of regret, in a way, giving my children access to smartphones when they came out. I wanted them to be state of the art because I wasn't there with them, and I figured the smartphones, it would allow them to access the new technology, but also there was useful stuff on there. Like I could text them, I could use it to send them pictures and stuff like that. But now I look back at it, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have introduced them to it, you know. Because it has a way when they're too young and that they're born with it in their hand. I mean, you watch parents now, you get a little kid who's like 2 or 3 years old playing with a smartphone. And all the stuff I just told you with the dead bodies and the naked people and the drug usage and all that is flashed in front of their face over and over and over and over. See, AA, the point of all internet use is to identify the use and figure out what they will buy. That's what it's become because it's being driven by business. In the old days, the internet was run by the military for military stuff, for security, but colleges and universities for exchanging ideas, information. I grew up in that era. You know, it wasn't being used to track people. Like even cookies were supposed to be used for good things, like storing your preference for that website and stuff. But now they use it to track which website you've been to see what kind of stuff you like, so that they can advertise to you. So it's not the technology that's bad; it's the people behind it. And and those people, especially the young generation, are growing up more and more thinking that it's okay to flash your booty for views, you know? And that's what they're growing up with. They're believing that's normal. And how much more extreme can you get than that? Well, they'll figure it out because they have to in order to keep the numbers growing. Just reading here. A Angry says, if you want to go viral, use toothpaste and auto repairs. If you want to go viral, just come up with stupid shit like this. I brushed my eyes with toothpaste and went blind. And have a picture of you with the dark sunglasses and the blind stick. Or this. I snuck gasoline into my teacher's coffee cup. Crazy shit like that. And it'll go viral. Especially if you did it for real. Which to me, it's like no sense at all. Remember the Tide Pod? Let's pop this stuff. I challenge you to pop a Tide Pod. And some of you are like, well, you did the same thing with the what are those little things in the water that made me go blind? What are they? The sand fleas. The sand fleas. Remember the sand fleas? But reality is you can eat sand fleas and you won't go blind. They won't kill you. Okay, I did research it. They're an animal you can eat. Well, they're a critter you can eat. They're part of the crab family, kinda. And they taste kind of pretty nasty. They won't make you blind. They won't make you go blind, but they'll make you go. Bleh. They're pretty nasty. Maybe I didn't cook them right. But the stuff I did, I tried to do stuff that wouldn't kill somebody. Okay, and so some of it, was fake, and it was like a joke at the end. If you watch the whole video, like where I ate the what was it, the armadillo? Was it armadillo? I don't know. But or the snake sausages. But those kind of things were done for fun, and they weren't even real. Okay, and it was made evident that it wasn't real. But now people are doing crazy stuff like this. Like we put a bunch of we poured gasoline across the street, and as the neighbors came by, we set it on fire. And there's a video of it. And it's fake because, well, they really did set it on fire, but the neighbor was really their friend driving through, and they rigged it, And those videos go viral when you can see it was fake. But kids go out and do that now. Why? Because you get lots of views, and with lots of views, you make money. I'm mind blown that, and the thing is like, well, why don't you do that? Because I have sense, like Timothy says. It's not right. It's not ethical. But not only is it not ethical, it's dangerous and stupid. And you really shouldn't go around doing that. They just had that one kid who was, I guess he was like 19 or 20 years old, that was real popular. And he was trying to get famous for doing stupid stunts with his car or his truck. And one time he was filming, I guess he was going round and round in his SUV in the mud. And I guess he flew off and died. Somehow he crashed or something. He squished him and killed him. I don't know. But he died trying to make those stupid videos of being stupid. That's how stupid it is. Or that daredevil Chinese kid who was filming himself climbing, free climbing buildings, like, skyscrapers, until he fell to his death. Or that girl who was trying to get the really good shot and walked right off the edge of a cliff, filming her fall down. She didn't die, but she broke pretty much all her bones. You know, that kind of stuff. That's the environment we live in, and what it is it's being promoted by social media because those videos went viral. I'm just scrolling through. Elizabeth wants to know about my house. I will show you shortly. It hasn't been much because I've been doing mostly repairs, floor repairs. The house has a lot of leaks. Well, it had a lot of leaks along the floor, along the wall. So a lot of the walls, I mean, and floors I had to rip out. And it's kind of slow process and takes a long time. So, and there's a lot of it. So I've been busy patching the floors. Also found a huge leak. You know, there was a leak spot by the kitchen. You guys remember that? I thought I had fixed it, but the other day I came in because it was raining a lot in Florida, and the kitchen floor area was wet. So I kind of had to rip the ceiling open, sort of, and I'm trying to spot the leak. I'm gonna have to climb back up on the roof to do a repair again. So there hasn't been too much because it's kind of boring stuff, you know. And not only that, it takes a long time for me. I mean, it takes time for me to get up there and film and do all that stuff. I can barely get myself to get up there to do it. I like to show it more like when it's done, you know. I'm not. This isn't really a how-to video, but more of how Denoy did it. So I'll show you guys just so that you can see what's going on. I wanted to wait for the next update till it actually looked like there were some differences. But right now, the only difference is there were a couple more floor holes that I ripped up that I fixed, and an electrical outlet. For some reason, this house, this mobile home, it had no outside electrical outlets. And on one of the walls where I had to rip open to fix the wall and the floor, I decided to just flip the electrical outlet outside. So I had to cut through the wall. You know, the house is aluminum. The trailer home, it's aluminum, so I had to cut it, and I moved the electric. I just left it. I mean, in the same spot. I just flipped it, so it's now facing outside, and I cut a hole. So that'll be useful for having an electrical cord, you know, from outside without having to run it through a door or a window or something. But I'm like, well, they built these houses with no electrical outlets. Install them. They don't put any water spouts, which to me is crazy. There's no water spouts. So I've got hoses running, you know, for the water to come up to the front of the house. But I wanted to try to get that done before we do an update. 1954 Shadow says, at least I'm not talking about food. Well, you know, food is a big deal, and I will probably be doing some episodes on food just to show people costs, and hopefully foods that are halfway delicious and nutritious that don't cost an arm and a leg. So we might start doing some more food videos just because one, I'm going to be able to cook soon once I get this stuff halfway rigged for cooking. Two, I think sharing food ideas is kind of important right now for a lot of people because the price of food just went up sky high. And being able to show people how they can make halfway decent food without spending too much money, you know, I think those videos are useful. I don't think they get a lot of views. You know, if I make a video on how to cook a shark's penis, I would probably get a lot of views. But I don't feel like eating shark penis. I wouldn't even know how to cook it. But, oh man, my battery's dying, so I'm probably going to have to log off. I'm just real quick. All right. Anyhow, I am going to sign off. My battery is almost dead. I want to thank you all for joining me. Just wanted to share with you what I think of social media. And if you notice me being on it less and less, that's part of the reason. Although to leave social media for me would be kind of sad because, you know, so many people have told me positive things about this channel. Yeah, you know, how it's helped them. So I'm would want to keep that going, but then I'm linked into what I consider the devil. What do you do? What's your advice? Until next time, everyone, take care. Remember, watch your brain, guard your brain, your heart, your soul. Until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye now.